Hello friends. Today let's do a little voiceover onto my video that I've been recording while I've been making some beautiful organic plates. Now these are not, I guess, normal plates that you would put, your mashed potatoes and sausages on. These are more a plate that, it's more decorative, and maybe you put a couple cupcakes on there, or maybe it's just, a large trinket plate. But anyway, I really do enjoy the process of painting plates and things, and I also do enjoy the process of making and impressing some beautiful patterns. So that's what we're doing on this video here. So first of all, I do have my clay. I have rolled it out with a rolling pin. It is really important, I think, to make sure that it's the same size all the way around. And if you just roll it with a rolling pin without some sort of guide, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, even if you're going to use a guide that are two rulers that you have at home or something like that. But yeah, using a guide's really good. Now I am compressing it with a metal rib here, and that's going to hopefully eliminate the cracks, and I really don't have many cracks on my pieces, so I think it really does help. I actually learnt a lot of how to do these things from Jazz, and she is on YouTube as well. She's really good, and if you want to do anything like hand building, she is actually really great to see how to do some organic type of plates. So I think it's Ceramics by Jazz. So like I said, that's how I sort of learnt to start with. Now, I do have this bat system that my husband made me, so I thought, look, that's going to give me a rough guide to the organic kind of shape that I want. It's not perfect, and I'm just going to go around it. I'm not going to trace perfectly, so I don't really want the sharp corners on this. And this is going to become a beautiful turtle sea-like, piece. So anyway, it's super fun, and I absolutely love sea life. I mean, if you live in Australia, you have to love the sea because we're surrounded by sea. So like I said, I've roughly drawn this out, and I think I used, if I'm right, a 5mm guide in thickness for this one. And, it's really easy to do. You don't need a wheel. You don't need anything too jazzy to do this. It's super duper easy. So here I am in the background going searching for something else I need to make this gorgeous little plate. I'm probably looking for the 3D prints, to be honest. After looking at this video, I have realised that I have exited in and out many times, but I'm sure you guys don't mind. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just going to learn a little bit about what we're doing here, isn't it? So I was just looking for some different shapes so that I can just trace around. And yes, you're right, I am using a skewer because I actually could not find some other things that I needed to cut around everything. But that's okay. That's the great thing about pottery. You can just try and use some things that you find around the house to make something just beautiful. Now I know the camera angle probably isn't perfect, but I wanted to get nice and close so that I could show you what I'm actually doing here. So like I said, we're just making this, sort of organic form. So I just have a little bit of water in a jar. I learnt this from Jazz. So all you need to do is just go around the edge to smooth the edges a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is an organic looking plate. But at the same time, you don't want the edges to be really sharp once they're glazed. And they will be if you don't sort of do a little bit of this process. So this is what we're going to do and go around the edge, making it just beautiful. Now, after I have actually done many of these different plates, over time, I just really find them so nice. I don't know what it is about the organic form, but I just really like it. And I've noticed more and more potters are doing more of an organic form rather than a structured circle or a structured oval or square. So I finally found what I've been searching and scrambling around for. I'm just going to do my little press in here, and this is just my little logo stamp that my husband made me on a 3D printer. I have now made a new one, which my daughter Em helped me to do, which I'm super excited about. I can't wait to show all of you. But for now, we're just going to use the one that we've got on this one in this video. So we're just trying to organize everything and make sure everything's nice and smooth, beautiful, and so on. And then what I'm going to do is flip it the opposite way, because obviously the logo is going to be on the back. Now, you definitely don't need to do that. You can even use a toothpick or anything just to, write your initials in. But it does look really nice to do it like this. So I'm going to keep on going, just making it beautiful. I really have to tell myself that's enough, stop touching, because I have the baddest habit of just constantly trying to make it perfect. And it's not perfect, is it? It's an organic form. So, of course, it is not perfect. So, note to self, stop fiddling and touching, the end of the work, because then I would just see my handprints and then it drives me crazy. And like I said, then I just keep doing this, which is so annoying. But anyway, so here is my 3D prints, which I'm just showing you that my husband did. And I'm just pushing them into the work. Now, one thing that I actually have noticed that I've done over time is I've actually started making the 3D molds a little bit bigger, because they're roughly about 8 to 12 centimeters across or tall. And I know that sounds really big, but if you're doing a plate, they kind of just get lost in the plate. So then I ended up having to do 2 or 3 of the mushy ones. And then I also, for the turtles, I ended up putting 3 of the turtles in there as well. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky, isn't it? But anyway, we just kept going with this. And I was just trying to, like I said, make it look really nice and just do something a little bigger. Now, this little butterfly one, this was actually a cake press. I don't know where I've got it. I'm thinking I got it from Spotlight or something like that anyway. Maybe even a cake shop. And then I just decided to press that into this particular mushy one. Now, out of all the plates and everything that I sell, the ones with the mushies or the bumblebees, they are definitely the most popular out of everything that I make, which is funny because I would never have thought a bumblebee would have been so popular, but the bees are really, really popular. And I'm actually making a few different ones. So I'm going to be doing some Halloween ones. And what's the other one? I started making a few more 3D molds because I had lots of ladies ask me for different patterns. But, at the end, you've got to stay true to what you're making. So that's what we're trying to do with this form here. And, of course, once again, I'm sneaking out, trying to find something else because, that's what I do. I just don't seem to have everything in one place. I'm literally working out of 3 different areas. So the back room that you can see there, that is where I actually make my pottery. It's kind of almost like the basement of the house. And then I also do have a pink shop, which is like a single car garage size. And that's where I keep all the things. And then I have another studio at the back of the house. So I wish all these studios were a massive big area to make it easy, but they're not. They're smaller areas. But I just have to do what I have to do to get it all right. Now let's work on these gorgeous turtles. These are my favorite. I just really love doing them. I don't know what it is about the turtle, but I just do enjoy it. Like I said, I'm in Australia, so we are surrounded by sea. So maybe that's what it is. Now, I've tried many different ways to actually get the turtle press beautiful. If you press with your hands, you get it a bit uneven, but if you gently hold the edges and then just use that little roller, the mini roller, you really do get a much better finish because it's flatter and it means that all the edges of the turtle are very similar. Now, you also have to be careful if you're doing a press that you're not pressing to the bottom because obviously then it would have holes in it and then it's no good to use. So there's a lot of playing around, learning how to actually do this one with the turtles. And now here, this is like a little shell. I think it's like a sea urchin shell actually. And I didn't just get these from the beach. In Australia, you're actually not allowed to take shells from the beach. So I actually bought it from a lady at a local event that I went to in Port Fairy, and she had the license to collect them. So, and when you collect them, she said that she can only do it certain times of the year, and she had to make sure that obviously there were no animals living in them or anything like that. So, and it gives this beautiful sea-like pattern, which I really, really do love. So that's how I've managed to do this. And that little urchin shell thing, I feel like it just fills in the gaps. It makes it just look quite natural, and I really love that look. And now, of course, it has to be set down to dry once everything's done, and then I get to paint it. I paint all of these plates when they are greenware. I don't paint them at bisque because I feel like the glazes, the underglaze doesn't take as well. So that's sort of, how I do these. Now I set it on paper because that's going to absorb a little bit from the clay, and then I also want to just make the edges look beautiful, and putting it on paper allows me to twirl it round as I make the edges a little bit beautiful. Now I could have waited longer, of course, but I kind of feel like, just by doing it this way, it keeps the form, once again, a little bit more organic. Although I did do the mushy one earlier and left it for maybe half an hour, just so that I could do a really nice little edge on it. But this was, these ones are sort of a practice one. If you want them absolutely symmetrical and perfect, I do suggest like drying them in a bowl or something like that will keep them more rounded, but I didn't really care so much about that process. It was just more, like I said, just having a bit of fun. And for me, this is not my full-time job. This is my hobby. And I got back into this after I got sick. So I do have skin cancer, and I also now, you wouldn't believe it, my luck, and so now I have a fracture in the vertebrae and 3 bulging discs. So this just gives me a little bit of something else to think of rather than the pain in my back or the skin cancer. So I think sometimes we need a hobby just to get our mind off life and the tricky, bits of life. So I do have a website though, and I do sell this. I sell it on TikTok, and I do sell my products also on my website. So they're the 2 places, and sometimes I will do an event when my daughters can help me, but I only really do them in summer. I don't do many markets or anything, more like events that go for a couple of days, and then I can make a little bit of a holiday out of it when I'm feeling up to it. So that's a little bit about the background of why I'm doing it, and, just enjoying the process of pottery. And I don't feel that there's any real wrong or right with pottery. I think, it's just a learning thing and a fun, beautiful hobby where you can make something really lovely. And then, of course, you can make some beautiful gifts and give them away as gifts as well. So I'm just making the edge a little bit smoother. As I said earlier, I have this bad habit of just continuously, trying to refine it, trying to fix it. And I really need to stop and just say, okay, that's enough with whatever I'm making. But anyway, it did turn out beautiful in the end. It is dry now, painted, and it is going into the kiln today. So this whole process from making them from the start to the end takes roughly about a month, because in between drying it, firing it to bisque, and then, redoing it again, reglazing it, and painting really does take a long time. And when I'm painting, I often go live on TikTok and just paint, and people are always interested on the process of pottery and, the painting and how long it takes and so on. So I think that's kind of a really good thing. And then, of course, I put, my videos on my new little, I was going to say TikTok, but not TikTok, on my new YouTube video. So I hope you guys do enjoy it. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of the good stuff, because that really does help my little channel, helps it to grow as well. And I do know this a little bit because I do have a bigger channel that I have grown over 5 years. And that just took me a long time to grow that channel. So, the algorithm isn't fair sometimes, and it just does take time. But anyway, it's a bit of fun, and we can create a community of hobbyists that just love pottery or many other hobbies as well. So it's on the paper. We're going to, do the edges now of the turtle one. We've just done the mushy one. And I know it's going to look super cute. And I'm sorry if I'm making you seasick by moving the camera around. But I'm trying to get the best angle so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. anyway, I will let you watch so that we can see how I'm making this and just doing the edges. Hello everyone, it is a new day. It is weeks now after we have made this absolutely beautiful tray. I'm so excited to show you. So let's show you the trays that we did at the start. One of them is still in greenware. The other one is totally finished. It's looking beautiful and it's glazed and finished. So anyway, let me get the first one, which was the little mushroom frog that we did, and it's sitting on the shelf over there. So I'm going to go grab it. Ta-da! Isn't it sweet? I absolutely love it. The only reason this has not been fired is I honestly have not had any time, and I haven't had any space in the kiln because it's literally been going all the time doing some custom orders. So anyway, that's up nice and close. I've used kiwi colours from turquoise blue to the lilac kiwi. The green is mint in kiwi. And the red is Christmas red, which is my favorite, and yellow is meadow yellow. So they're the colors that I have used for this little sweetheart. So we'll pop this back on the shelf. I'm going to just let it sit there until I'm ready to do the next step. But I will show you the turtle one now because that has come out really pretty. And you know, look, for me, hand painting is, I kind of find it a bit of therapy. I just sit there. I don't have to think or do anything. I can literally just paint it and, you know, just be in my own little zone, because honestly, I do enjoy being alone. That sounds really silly. A lot of people say, oh, really? But my dad enjoyed his solitude. I do. My daughters actually really enjoy being by themselves, grabbing a book, just doing nothing. So anyway, but let's go and grab the turtle one so that I can show you. So this is the absolute sweetheart turtle one. Doesn't it look so lovely? It's come out gorgeous. So I painted all the colors, and then with the top coating that I've actually used, it is a glaze from Walker's. So it's a clear glaze from Walker's. It's not the super gloss, it's the next one, but it does not have zinc. I have worked this out the hard way. If anything has a zinc in it, which generally I don't use any with that, but I accidentally used one with one of my last products, and I will show you. And this is what happens. It has like a white overflow, and I didn't realize that that's what zinc does. But anyway, one of the ladies at my ceramic shop told me that. But this is the plate. It is finished. I have done this gorgeous edging. So the edging here, which is the green edge, this one here is a gorgeous glaze from Walker's. It's a part of their new collection. And basically the new collection, most of them will have two tones. So even though it has a green image, it will have an undertone of blue, and same as the pink has an undertone of rust. So that's a part of their new ones. And oh, let me find it so I can show you, so I can tell you the glaze I've used here. So this is the glaze. I had to find it. But anyway, this is the glaze. It is Blue Mountains and it's a matte. So this is a matte finish. But then if it gets to the right temperature, underneath the matte, this blue colour seems to be more of a satin to a shiny colour. So it's really interesting how glazes work, isn't it? And then, of course, if you can see the edging here, this is where the glaze has come on the edge to give this blue look. So isn't that interesting? You've gone from the green to the blue. But anyway, it's so lovely. I really do love it. It's come out beautiful. So all the glazes that I've actually used on this one, or underglazes I should say, are kiwi underglazes. So the turtle, that is actually called Caramel, the colour on his little head. And if you can see the green, I've actually used mint green, and all I've done is for this one I added a bit of yellow, and for the darker one I added a bit of black. Because I thought, look, they're all friends swimming, but they need to all be maybe different variations of a turtle, just like many human beings walking around, and we're also different. So I thought that was really sweet. And then I just have this indent, and I've watered down slate blue just to pop over here so that it does look a little bit like sort of a coral sea that a beautiful turtle would be swimming in, because in Australia we have lots of turtles, and where we go to the beach, which is Inverloch Beach, you will often see turtles just along the edge line. So, and luckily most people just leave them alone and then they just swim back into the ocean. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for coming along with me. And yeah, I've had super fun. I do love it. I have 2 more of these that I have to paint. And you know, when I do my big market in November, which is called Springfest, and it's actually an event, it's not really a market, I will take these sort of ones along with me. Anyway, thanks friends. See you on the next one. Bye.